Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Lisa and today I'm going to be going over my March budget. I am using the Budget Moms Budget by Paycheck workbook and I have the box set. So let's go ahead and open March up and get started. So the box set does not come with these Velcro dots. I added those myself so that the box set little booklets would not come open. So we'll start with the calendar view. So what I'm going to do is lay out my paydays, where all my bills are due, and that way I can better prepare my paycheck budget so that I know what bills are going to fall within each pay period. So I did already put the dates across the top, and I am using pen today. This is my first time using pen in this notebook. I have been using mechanical pencils, so hopefully I don't make any mistakes because the whiteout is packed. So let's go ahead and get started. March is an exciting month for me. I am moving this month, and so I have a ton of expenses that I don't or haven't had in a really long time. So let's break those down. So my first paycheck is on the 5th. So we'll put payday here. And I am paid biweekly from my regular full-time job. So first paycheck is on the 5th. And then the second paycheck is going to be on the 19th of March. And I went ahead and put the 1st and the 2nd of April here because I do have another payday. That way I know that anything that falls on the 1st would also be covered with the paycheck on the 19th. So we'll write payday here. And then last is YouTube, and I don't know if I will get any YouTube income. It's not guaranteed, but if I do get any income from YouTube, that will be paid out on March the 21st. So I'm just going to write YouTube here. So let's talk about my monthly bills. My rent is due on the 1st, so we'll write, so I have actually two different rent payments that I'm going to be making this month. So I have rent from my current home, and then I also have rent for the new house. My daughter is moving in at the end of at the end of February, so I will have to pay an entire month's worth of rent, even though I'm not moving until later on in the month. So that's on the 1st. And then what else was due? So I have Hulu that is due on the 2nd. And then Geico, which is my car insurance, will be due on the 3rd. And then on the 29th is when my cell phone is due, and that is, I have a AT&T as my cell phone provider. And then I think that should be it. Rent will be due again, of course, on the 1st, so I'll just write rent here. And then in terms of birthdays in the month of March, my twins have a birthday on the 21st. So I'll just write B-Day. I'll know who that is. And I think that might be, oh, I know what I was going to put on here. So for the new place, which this is something I haven't had in a really, really long time, is utilities. I don't know when those bills become due, but I am going to assume that they're going to be due on the 1st. So I'm going to take pencil and write this in just so that if it's not the 1st, then I can erase it and write it again. So there's, let's see, I have electricity, water, and internet. So I'm just going to write, for now, utilities on the 1st. And then later on, if that changes, I can erase it and move it around, because I'm sure they're not all due on the same day. But since I guess I could ask my daughter to ask her dad, but we'll see. Okay, I did remember I do have one more bill, and that's going to be Netflix. Netflix is not going to be due in the month of March because my friend did give me a gift certificate, so it is paid through April. And I think the Netflix bill is due on the 4th. So I'm just going to go ahead and mark through the 4th here and put Netflix. That way I don't forget about it. I mean, I did set a reminder with Alexa, so I think I won't forget, but I just want to make sure I have it on my calendar view. So that's the monthly view. All right, let's talk about my actual monthly budget. So this is a paycheck bill tracker. Usually you would only use this for your actual paychecks. I'm using it for my monthly budget as well. So I have the first section here, which is income, and the first source of income is my full-time job. Again, I am paid biweekly. My biweekly salary is $1,700. If you guys caught my moving budget video, you will already know that my income is going to be reduced since I am moving to a lower cost of living state. But I'm going to go ahead and budget what I normally do because I have plenty of money in savings in case I fall short. So I'm going to go ahead and budget $3,400. And then for YouTube income, I do not budget anything for YouTube income. If I get it, I will account for that later. And then miscellaneous income, I'm not going to budget anything there as well. But if I sell anything on Facebook Marketplace before I leave in those few first days of March, then I will come back and, of course, budget that money. Hey, get out of there. What are you doing, you stinker? Okay, sorry for the camera shaking. Tink is being a little booger, which is why her name is Tink, because she is a stinker. Okay, so income total is going to be $3,400 is what I'm budgeting. And then moving on to my fixed expenses, the first expense is rent number 1, which will be the place that I am currently living. The rent is $900 a month, and we're going to divide that by 30 days is $30 per day. I am only going to be here for 8 days. So that is $240 is what I am budgeting for rent number 1. Rent number 2 is the new place, and the monthly rent is $500 a month. And my daughter did talk to her dad because we're going to rent his old house from him, and asked him if he wanted a deposit, and he said no. So we're just going to pay the $500 a month. There's no pet deposit. He is keeping the utilities, The utilities are staying on in his name, so we're just going to pay him for whatever the utilities are, and that way we don't have to worry about deposits for electricity, water, internet, all that kind of good stuff. It's just so much easier to keep it the way it is. I'll give him some money every month and everybody will be happy. Next is damages to the carpet. So where I'm living right now is in a basement, and it is completely carpeted except for the bathroom, laundry room, and the little kitchenette. And my kitty had scratched part of the carpet, and I am responsible for making sure that, I cover the cost of the damages, and I am going to give them $1,000. And that should more than cover the cost to repair those, those few places. They are going to rip the carpet up down here after I leave and put down tile or some other type of flooring that is not carpet. So, my damages are, just a portion of that. I just want to do right by them because they have been really good to me. Let's see. Next is electricity, and this is for the new place, and I haven't paid electricity in a really long time. Matter of fact, it's been, 5.5 years since I've paid electricity, but I think I'm going to go ahead and budget $150. My son currently lives in the house with my future daughter-in-law and grandbabies, and the electricity runs them about $200 a month, but he runs the air conditioning, and likes it really cold in there in the summertime. So, I'm more cold-natured and a little more frugal than he is. So I think I could probably stay within like $150, hopefully a lot less. Next is the water bill. Currently, the water bill runs about $25 a month. So I'm going to budget for $25. Since it's just going to be my daughter and I, it may not be that much, but I would rather budget on the high end. Next is the internet, and that runs $90 a month. And then AT&T, which is my cell phone bill, that is $42.90. Then I have Hulu, and Hulu is $11.99. Netflix, again, is not due until April, so I'm going to budget $0. Geico, which is my car insurance, is $61.32. And last is a hotel expense, so I am going to stay in a hotel the night of the 8th. And I'm going to go ahead and budget $100. Hopefully that will cover the cost of the room plus any taxes and fees. So let's add this up. So I've got 240, 500, 1,000, 150, 25, 90, 42.90, $11.99, $61.32, and $100. So my total fixed expenses is $2,221.21. So we're going to take this amount and subtract $3,400. So that leaves me $1,178.79 left to budget. So we'll just put that down here in the leftover. So 1178.79. And then we'll take that amount and put it up here in the leftover. So 1,178.79. Now let's talk about my cash expenses. So my first category is food. My weekly budget is $60. We counted the number of Saturdays. There are 4, so that means my food budget for the month would usually be $240. But since I need to budget $100 for the actual trip, because I will be eating, fast food for 2 days, that's going to be $340. And then so that my daughter and I can get some pantry staples, I'm going to budget an extra $60. So that's going to be $400 for food, which is crazy high, but I am eating through all of my food here, and I am going to be starting completely over in terms of food and household items. So speaking of household items, that is the next category, and I am going to budget $100. Usually I budget $10 per week, but we're going to need things like a broom and a mop. So all of those little things that, you normally, purchase here and there, everything has to be purchased because my daughter has been living with my parents the last few years, and we're both just starting completely over. Moving on to my spending budget, I am going to budget $58, which is a very specific amount. And the reason for that amount is when I took all of my categories and tried to figure out how much was left in the budget, it was only $18, and I decided to put that up here in spending. Moving on to fur babies, I'm going to budget $100, which is $25 a week for them. And then gas and oil changes. Now, before I head out, I will need to get my car looked at and get a fresh oil change. And I am going to budget $300. So that will cover the cost of the oil change, replacing any filters, and also the cost to have the car looked at. And then gas, which gas for the trip, if you guys caught my moving budget, I am budgeting $100 plus I have a $25 gift card for a Shell gas station. So this should be plenty to cover me. So let's go ahead and calculate my cash envelopes. So we've got $400 for food, $100 for household, $58 for spending, $100 for fur babies, and $300 for gas and oil changes is $958. So we're going to subtract the leftover amount, which was $1,178.79. So that leaves me a leftover amount to budget of $220.79. We'll carry that down here for the leftovers. So $220.79. First sinking fund is Christmas, and I budget $25 a week, so we'll budget $100 for Christmas. And then for fur babies, I do $15 a week, so that will be $60 for the month. And then gifts is $15 a week, so that will also be $60 for the month. So if we take 100 and 120, that leaves me with 79 cents. And I am just going to put 0 for savings, and 79 cents will just hang out in my checking account because I'm not budgeting 79 cents. Oh, 220 even. And that leaves me a leftover of 79 cents. So that is more items than I've had to budget in a really, really long time. And this is why I decided to do the Budget Moms Budget by Paycheck workbook, because once I get to the end of March and I have tracked all my expenses, I've tracked the utilities, I'm going to be able to compare those costs month to month, and it will help me to perfect my budget. It's going to be very different for me going from living alone on a single income to supporting not only myself, but my daughter on a single income. So my daughter is going to be starting PA school, which is physician assistant school. She'll be starting in May. And while she's in school, she cannot work. I'm moving to the state where she is going to be going to school. We're going to live together, and I am going to cover all of the household expenses. So this is going to be new for me to try to perfect this new budget, trying to figure out food for two people and household supplies while getting the things that I like and the things that she likes. She's a meat eater. I'm a vegetarian. So it's going to be really interesting to see how all of this gets worked out. So let me know down in the comments if you have had to adjust your food budget because either you have more people in your household now or maybe less. You know, how do you budget your food for more than one person? I would love to hear down in the comments below. Let me know any tips that you might have to saving money on groceries. I would greatly appreciate it. And that is it for my March budget. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day or night wherever you're at. Bye.